And we are back here with another video today. My name is Rykley Ruby, and welcome to the Football Expert, where we look at every single college football teams in the FBS, or at least in the P4. We'll see how far we get as we look at Texas football today in their 2026 schedule and give predictions and my thoughts on the Longhorns. So before we get into today's video, make sure that you like the video. If you enjoy it, comment your thoughts and opinions down below. But most importantly, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. It's helps me grow the channel and helps other people learn about it, as my goal of 6,500 subscribers by the end of June. So help me get there as we get into Texas football prediction. And if you have your team that I have not done already, you let me know what their team is down in the comments. If you go ahead, which will be up at just here in a few seconds. Let's get into today's video. So looking at Texas, last year they went 10-3, 6-2 in the SEC with a couple of, one was an okay loss. It was a Georgia loss, but it was by 25 points, and they got killed on the road against Georgia. It wasn't close. Then an 8-point loss on the road to Florida in the waning years of the Billy Napier era. And honestly, with this game, I predicted Florida to win it. I don't have the video prediction on my channel. Otherwise, I'd say look at it. But yeah, I predicted Florida to win this game because I think Napier's a good coach in the swamp. But at the same time, at the end of the day, looking at where Napier ended, looking at where Texas ended, you can't lose a game like that. Then you had the 7-14 loss against Ohio State. That one is an okay loss. There's no issues there. A 7-point loss to the Buckeyes on the road week 1, that's not a bad loss. But let's much easier week 1 game this year. It is a Texas State Bobcats coming to town, and GK Kinney. Very interesting team here with Texas State. They're a good team. This is not a slouch of a program, but it still is Texas State versus Texas. I think Texas wins this matchup running away. But don't get me wrong, this will be an interesting matchup to see a team that I see as a playoff type of contender. Good Texas State team. So you have that win there. Then you have a home game against Ohio State, and a very interesting matchup is Texas, one of the favorites to win the national championship. Ohio, very good team. And with that, I think that the win. I just don't know if I can trust Arch Manning in a game like this. Last year, Arch, 61% completion percentage, a little over 3,100 yards, 7 interceptions on the ground with 4.3 yards per carry. Not a bad season at all for Arch. I think he was vastly there was so much pressure on Arch that I just don't fault him as much as some people do. Like, look at the Vanderbilt game. Vanderbilt was the number 9 team in the country coming into that game. He went 328 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a 76% completion percentage in that game. A 92.2 QBR in that game. Michigan went 61.8% completion percentage, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a 91.1% or 91.1 QB rating. Obviously, in a game like Georgia and in a game like Ohio State last year, and obviously in Florida, those were all really, really bad losses and really bad play from Arch Manning. But in the regular games, I think he's a good quarterback. But in this game, I don't know. We'll see. But like looking at Texas's depth chart, it is just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous how much talent. Ryan Wing, wide receivers, your 2 big guys. Arch Manning, your quarterback. Hollywood Smothers, the transfer from NC State, is your running back. The defense is just filthy all the way up and down, running a 4-2-5 scheme. So I like the scheme that Texas runs here, especially with the defensive pieces that you have. Only a couple of transfers, the nose guard, Ian Jefford, one of the transfers, and I do like that pickup as he comes in, and I think that it's a good pickup as well. The whole special teams is basically kind of new other than Ryan Niblett. So very interesting there. But I think that this is a good Texas team. And Cam Coleman is such a good wide receiver, and Hollywood Smothers such a good back, that this team is just going to win games that they like games against Texas State, against teams against teams like Mississippi State or Missouri or Arkansas or things like that because of players like that. But can they win a game like Ohio State? That's where Arch needs to shine. They do need a quarterback to win that game. So game against the UTSA Roadrunners, easy win here. Do like the Roadrunners, always a fun program. Also one of the best mascots in all of college football, but an easy win. We got to move on here. Road game at Neyland, very, very, very interesting game here. And when I was predicting this one, picking who I wanted to win or who I thought would win, I went back and forth because Tennessee on the road, Neyland, never, ever an easy place to play. The real UT battle here, see who the real UT is. And I think that the Longhorns do come away with a victory here. A little bit too much uncertainty and where Heupel and the Volunteers are this specific year. I think that they're good overall, but this year I think they should get the win. Then they have a home game against the Sooners, and I think that this is a win as well. I think that Oklahoma game last year, the 23-6 game, obviously offense was a big problem for both of the teams last year, both Oklahoma and Texas, especially at the beginning of the season and in big games. So I see a win here for Texas. The same time, don't get me wrong, it's a rivalry game. It can go either way. The Red River Shootout is always one of my favorite games to watch every year. Then you have a home game against Florida, and this is a very interesting matchup. And I should say, if I said home game or road game, I apologize. With Oklahoma, I know that's a neutral site game, so sorry if I said that. So home game against Florida at Austin. And this is a very interesting one. Summerall, the first-year head coach at Florida, has had a good tenure when he came from the Sun Belt, when he had come from the program. I think that he's a good head coach. The only problem is I just don't know if he is the coach that is going to be able to beat Texas in this first year. So I have an easy win here for Florida. A win for Texas against Florida. My apologies. Then a home game against Ole Miss. I just think Ole Miss takes a step back here. And with that, I think that a L here in Austin. I think that Pete Golding is a good head coach, but at the end of the day, I just think a road game against Texas is a little too much. Win there for the Longhorns. Mississippi State Bulldogs, easy win here. I just don't love Jeff Lebby. I think that he is a good head coach if he was in a better scenario, but Mississippi State, that's such a hard program to turn around in such a loaded SEC, The SEC is not the same SEC it was a few years ago, where it was the best conference in the country, no doubt about it. I would honestly say the Big Ten is the best conference in the country. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. Do you think the Big Ten is the best country or best conference in the country? And I'm sure I'm going to get a bunch of dislikes for asking that on an SEC video, but that's neither here nor there. Win there against Mississippi State. Road game against Missouri. Very interesting matchup here for the Tigers. I think that Drinkwitz is a good head coach, and I could very well see a loss, I should say. Ahmad Hardy, the running back, obviously thoughts and prayers to him with the shooting that went on and his injuries. So prayers for his family and him with the recovery. But Missouri, a good football team, and I think Ahmad Hardy, as far as I can tell, obviously football is not important right now, but he seems to be in good conditions and good spirits. So I think Missouri's a very good team, and I think Drinkwitz has proven me wrong a lot of times, and with it being a road game, it's a tough one to call. But I am going to give the win here to the Longhorns, but by no means is this an easy win. I think it could be a loss very well. Then you have a road game against LSU and Lane Kiffin. I think that this is a very interesting matchup, bringing in the Arizona State transfer to play quarterback. And I think that this is a good matchup for Texas at the end of the year because I think Texas is going to be rolling. I think they get a win here. Then they have a home game against Arkansas. Arkansas, as I talked about, Arch Manning's stats were great in that game. Ryan Silverfield is going to struggle, I think, as a head coach in his first year at Arkansas before he can really implement a system. And I don't know if I love Silverfield. He may prove me wrong. He may be the best of the 4 new head coaches But right now, I think he's the worst. We'll see. He may prove me wrong. Out of Will Stein at Kentucky, John Summerall at Florida, and Alec Golish at Auburn, and then obviously Silverfield at Arkansas. So I think that is a very interesting matchup. One of the only games on the schedule that turned into an offensive shootout, 52-37. But we'll see what happens there. Actually, interesting thing. I just realized this. I'm surprised I didn't realize this before. Both games are at home, so I'm surprised. That doesn't make a lot of logical sense. Last year and this year, both games are at home for Texas against Arkansas, but that's neither here nor there against the old Southwestern rivals. Speaking of Southwestern rivals, Texas A&M. The Aggies are the Longhorns are in the final. This is where I think they collect their second loss of the season. I think Texas finishes with a 10-2 record because Texas Tech is a good program. Mike Elko is a good head coach. And obviously they did not get a win in year one, and they did not get a win last year. But I think that Texas is a good team. I think Texas A&M is a good team. And when both teams are good, any team can win any given year. So I have A&M winning this one on the road with a home field advantage in Kyle Field. Man, that place is going to be rocking once again. It'll be fun to see. As always, that's it for today's video. Videos down below and hit the subscribe here. Make sure that's my goal. And as always, hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.